As promised, this is going to be fucking painful. I'll tell you right now. It's tough. Look, here's Lee. He's he's scientifically walking around. You'll see it picks on this lady terribly, and she isn't wrong. She isn't wrong at all. And he goes off. The basic gist of this is that the Bible outdates the Torah. And yeah, okay, that's true. But his big peeve is towards the end where he starts talking, or he'll start talking about how the Torah doesn't explain how it happens. The Torah story, or the Quran, rather, doesn't explain. Here, I'll let him say it.
Was all energy flow, which incorporates from the enemy. Keep trying to turn around and say that other books and other nonsense is all kind of true. Billy J is. So we're going to go through this 1,500 years earlier than the Quran ever did. So to talk about the Quran as if it's some sort of scientific textbook when all it did was copy what the Bible said, the Quran, and how science has finally caught up. And then I'm just going to tell you about how the Bible already said this 1,500 years earlier.
His days are wrong. One, his dates are wrong. It's not 1,500 years. He's referring to the Torah, which is 1,500 years older.
Then you will then understand
the Torah, Bible, and Quran.
Good grief, and people say my voice.
Torah, Bible, and Quran. Then he starts picking on her voice. That's funny.
This is annoying.
All say that at the end of time, a single sound will end everything.
So she just agreed that the Torah says this too, which was written, of course, 1,500 plus years before the Quran.
And the Bible. The problem with Lee is he knows what I'm fixing to show you. It's all right. The Torah came first. Then the Bible was written in like fucking what 60 AD. The first writings of the New Testament, but the Old Testament is the Torah, and that's known thing. I mean, the first 5 books of the fucking Torah is the Hebrew Bible. The actual Bible takes on the whole book of the fucking Hebrew, and then plus the New Testament, and they're all three. They're Abrahamic religions because they come from Abraham, the prophet Abraham, that was born in the city of Ur, the capital of Sumer. And it very clearly is the third version of the cuneiform texts. They share some common narratives and themes, but they significant differences in their theological perspectives. Well, it doesn't have anything to do with the actual verses that are in these books. And I don't think Lee's actually read the Quran. This lady has, and she's kind of surprised at the things she's heard. But yeah, and he's not wrong either. I mean, both books, of course, depict the same stories because they come from the same guy and the same stories, the cuneiform. They come and they're derived. The Torah was derived from the cuneiform. That's where they come from. Gilgamesh is the flood story. It's very much the way Noah happened originally, and then they translated it through the Torah into the Bible and the Quran. And Rome runs the whole damn show. So he goes.
So already a story has fallen flat for being a copy.
Well, see, and this guy upholds the Bible.
How is this even logically possible? But guess what? Science has confirmed this 100%.
And they have. She's basically going to go on and talk, and he even says she's right. She's right. She's right. But he has nothing but huge insults for her. the entire time. She's right, but she's a grifting narcissist. You know, the same things he calls me. Then he goes on to talk about alien attacks. I don't think he believes aliens actually exist at all. It's fucking hilarious. This is fucking scientific Timmy. Now he talks to AI about
Jericho, an impenetrable fortress that had withstood countless assaults. The city's defences were that defied conventional warfare. So already, it's odd. Then we get an instruction.
Yeah, we get an instruction. And he's acting like this is a different story from the one in the Quran, because it's not. But Lee is interjecting his fucking thoughts in this instead of going on what the Bible says about Jericho. Jericho doesn't mention anything technical. It just tells them to march around singing and yelling and blow trumpets for 7 days. And on the seventh day, it goes critical.
Force, but with sound. For 6 days, the Israelites marched around the city carrying the Ark of the Covenant, which is an energy object.
Now, see, the Bible doesn't say that. He's just interjecting that.
The priests at the front blew their ram's horns, deep
They did that deep throaty through the valley.
throaty blasts that reverberated through the valley. So already we
see. Already we what?
know that God is using Joshua and sound.
Yes, he is. And that's all the Bible says. That's it. The walls fell down on the seventh day. But Lee fucking decides he wants to interject his crap.
So for 6 days, the Israelites marched around the city carrying the Ark of the Covenant. The priests at the front blew their ram's horns, deep throaty blasts that reverberated through the valley.
After repeating the Bible verse, because that's all the Bible says. It stops right there.
To the people of Jericho, the ritual seemed meaningless because
Yep, this is true.
it's sound, a futile display of faith against stone. But
Yep, this is true.
unknown to them, something was building beneath the surface.
The Bible doesn't say any of this. None of it. None of it. He goes on to talk about how it sits on limestone and the reverberations build up. And
Stacked upon one another. They did this for 7 days.
They did this for 7 days. The Bible says none of this, Lee.
By the seventh day, the frequencies had found their mark.
The Bible doesn't say that at all.
The Israelites circled the city 7 times, their movements in perfect harmony. Each horn blast sent another pulse through the rock beneath.
It doesn't say anything through the pulse through the rocks or anything. The Bible says nothing about that. Are you lying? What are you doing here, boo?
It's Jericho. The air itself thrummed with anticipation.
You're making up shit just to make this girl look wrong, and she's not wrong. And you're calling her names. You should be called grifter, satanic fucking liar.
Then came the final command. Shout! A thunderous cry erupted from the Israelites' ranks, all perfectly in unison, amplified by thousands of voices. The force of their collective sound waves merged with the...
See, he's reading from the Bible now. Just this, so that's just those last few words.
reverberations already trapped within the city wall.
See, now the reverberations already trapped in the city walls. It doesn't say anything about that.
From all the walking around.
And nothing about walking around. It's just the last shout brought down the walls.
The frequency aligned perfectly with the natural resonance.
It doesn't say anything about frequency or naturally aligning with anything in the Bible. Nothing.
Of the stone, and then the walls of Jericho trembled.
And then the walls of Jericho trembled. See, those last couple of words were from the Bible.
Deep, unnatural groan echoed through the city as the very structure of the fortress rebelled against itself. The vibrations reached the critical threshold, and
again, ad lib from Lee and his AI shit. This is not in the Bible.
Mighty walls, once thought indestructible, shattered in an instant. Great slabs of rock splintered and collapsed, cascading into dust as the entire fortification crumbled from within.
That part was in the Bible.
Jericho, the unconquerable city, had been undone not by sword, but by sound.
But none of that other stuff you added in there, grifter.
The Israelites surged forward, stepping over the ruins, and the battle was over before it even began. Thus, history recorded not just a tale of faith, but of unseen forces.
And you added to it. It didn't explain anything other than what the Quran said. They're the same fucking stories. They come from the Torah, which comes from the cuneiform. It's the third version of it. They had the Akkadian first, and the Aramaic, and then the fucking Hebrew. The Hebrew was the third version. The first version of people were Native Americans. Red. It says so. That's of Cain and Abel. The whole, descendants of Cain thing. They can't grow hair on their face. Duh. I mean, read your book, bro. Understand your history, for God's sake. Your book doesn't even explain what the mark of Cain is. That's the funny thing. It talks about it. But the mark of Cain is you can't grow hair on your face. That's it's Lord Enlil gave him that. But look, you can see he goes on about the 7th century when the Quran was written. Well, the Bible came from the Torah, and he even admitted that in the first of it. But then he admits that he starts claiming that's the Bible. Well, no, that's the Torah, bro. Your book is borrowed from a Hebrew religion. That's a known fact, and you're even incorporating that in your grifting narcissism because you mentioned it right there, trying to debunk her, but it debunks your book too, because the Bible, in fact, was created by Constantine. Oh, that actually puts the Bible later than the Quran. Damn, boy, you're gonna hate this channel.